Hello guys and welcome here. My name is Yassine. In today's video we are going to talk about how you can calculate the total amount of hours that you have worked directly on Microsoft Excel and how to calculate the pay that you will receive at the end of the day. So for the purpose of this video, we are going to work on a weekly basis. So we're going to calculate all your, we're going to add all the days of the week. And we are going to calculate how much hours you have worked in 1 week. So let's start. So the way we're going to proceed is pretty simple. We are going to have our day number 1, and then we're going to have day number 2, day number 3, day number 4, etc. So we're just going to change 1 for 2 here. Here it's going to be day 3. Here it's going to become day 4. And then we're gonna have day 5, day 6, and day 7. There we go. So right now we have all our 7 days of the week. Now we need to divide our day in 2 parts, because once again, for the purpose of this exercise, you will take a break in the center of the day. So here we'll have our first part. So first part. Here we're gonna have our break, and here we are going to have our second part. So you can select those 2 cells and merge them together. We're just gonna make it a little bit bigger so you'll be able to see. Here we go. I'm just gonna zoom on it. There we go. So here we have our first part, our break, and our second part. All right, and now we can put it in the center. Now what we're gonna do is pretty simple. We're just gonna select all this, and we are going to create borders. There we go. So now we have our borders. Now the next thing that we need to calculate is pretty simple. We want to know how much hours have been worked and how much you have been paid for each day. So we'll just put this in the center. So here we're going to write down total hours worked, and here we are going to calculate the total pay. Once again, for the purpose of this video, we're not going to calculate the taxes that will be withdrawn from the pay. The reason for this is that it's going to be a bit complicated to calculate this, especially if you want to do the real calculation. We need to add the tax brackets, and it's going to be a little bit more complicated. So we're going to keep it as simple as possible for the purpose of this video. All right, now how exactly we're going to calculate all this? So pretty simple. The first part, as I said, will be our first shift, not our first shift that we work, but it's gonna be in the morning, and then in the afternoon after our break, we're gonna continue working. So the way we are going to write it down is pretty simple. We're gonna write it down in this format. So let's say we start at 08:15:00. So, and we are going to finish at 11:45:00. So this will be our first part of the day. The second part of our day will start at let's say 12:30, once again 00, and it's going to end at 16:00:00. Now we have our 2 parts inside of our day. So we started here. Here we have our break. So we're just gonna merge all those cells together since it's the break. And here we have our second part of our day. So here we're gonna calculate the total amount of hours worked. So the way it's gonna work is pretty simple. We're gonna write down our equal sign right here. We're gonna open up the parentheses. So first of all, we want to subtract the moment that we finish in the first part of the day minus the time that we have started, and we close their parentheses. And then we're gonna add a plus sign and do the same thing here. So we're gonna open up our parentheses. We're gonna go for this time right here, minus this time right here, and we can close our parentheses. Now, as you can see, what's gonna happen is that we are going to have our answer in this format. So in a 7 hours format. We don't wanna have it in this format because if we wanna calculate the pay, it's gonna be complicated. Once again, if here, for example, we add our hourly wage, and let's say you make $15 an hour, We just write down $15. Here we go. It's going to be easier like this. There we go. And we multiply our 7. So 7 hours work multiplied by $15. We are going to have a value sign right here since you can't calculate it. We'll just write down 15. There we go. So as you can see, it's going to be 4.375. So it doesn't really make sense. So to be able to perform the calculation, to have a calculation that makes sense, the way that we are going to proceed is we are going to multiply the answer by, in this case, 24. So we're going to add our parentheses right here, and then we are going to multiply it by 24. And as you can see here, we have our answer. So it's going to be $105. So now we can add our little dollar sign. So here we go. We know that the first day we made $105 and we have worked 7 hours on that day. So we can do the same thing for the day number 2. We can just copy this. Well, not copy, well, we can copy it and paste it right here. And do the same thing here, copy this and paste this right here. Instead of 11:45, let's say 11:55, just to test it. And we're gonna do the same thing here. We start at 12, let's say 40. Here we go. And we finish at 16. Here we go. Now what we can do, we just take this, drag it here, and bring it right there. So once again, here, how much time we have worked. So if we calculate it the same way, so 16 minus 12:40, it's 3 hours and 20 minutes. Here, if we change it for 11:50, there we go. So as you can see, we have worked 6 hours and 55 minutes, once again, for the purpose of this example. So it changes a little bit. So here, once again, what we want to do right now, we want to come instead of D3. What we want to do is we want to change our hourly wage. So we want to bring it back to 15. So how we can proceed for this one, so it doesn't happen again, we can just go here and add some dollar signs. So here we go. And now we can just take all this, bring it right there. And as you can see here, we are going to have the answer that we need. So we can just do the same thing, fill up all the cases, and we'll do the same thing right there. And here we go, we can do the same thing. We'll just make our cells a little bit larger. Here we go, here we go, there we go. All right, great. So this is how much money we made each and every day of the week. The next step will be calculating how much money and how much time we have worked in total for this week. So we are going to add a little cell right here. We're going to call it total. So I'll just continue there. And here I'm going to write down total. And I'm going to add it right here. So here we're going to have our total. So I'll just select those 2 cells. I'll add the borders, and here we are going to have our grand total, and it's gonna be the sum. So we're gonna use the sum function. So just write down sum, open up your parentheses, and here you can simply not merge, but select all those cells together and simply click on enter. And as you can see, you will have the amount of hours that you have worked for that week. Here you can do the same thing for for how much money you have made. So it's pretty simple. We are going to click on our equal sign, and then we are going to write down sum, and here we are going to calculate all our pay for these 7 days. And as you can see here, we are able to know that for this week, we have worked 48 hours and we have earned $727.50. Now, if we decide to change the pay for $10, as you can see, it's gonna be changed and we have earned $485. If we change it for $20, same thing, the pay at the end of the week will be greater. So right now, this is how you can calculate how much time time you have worked each and every day of the week, and how much money you made each and every day of the week as well, and the grand total at the end right here. So I hope you have enjoyed this little project. So once again, if you like this video, don't forget to leave a like button, to subscribe, and see you in another of my videos.